All right, here we are once again with immigration lawyer extraordinaire Andy Semichuk from Pace Immigration. Andy, we got a lot of questions today. You want to do it?
Let's go, yeah.
All right, here comes the speed round. Number one, do Tunisian architects and doctors have any chance to immigrate to Canada?
Just as much as any other doctors or architects, they're in the skilled worker category. At this moment, the skilled worker category is closed, but it'll open up on July 1st. And so both those two categories will be open, and you can apply for a skilled worker permanent resident status in Canada. It's going to take about 2 years or so for them to get approved and processed.
Nice. All right, number two.
And by the way, it's self-petitioning. They can they don't need an employer petitioning them.
So they can just go ahead and just apply.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
okay.
great.
Number two, for the Canada federal immigration, when will this is the thing we were just talking about. This person wants to know when that list will be updated again, and will it change from what it was last year?
Okay. It's supposed to be updated July 1st according to the time when they started it, and they say it's yearly, and last time it was July 1st, so I'm assuming it's going to be July 1st again. The categories could change, but judging by past experience, doubtful that they're going to change very much. So probably the same categories. July 1st is the big window.
How many occupations are on that list?
29.
About 29, okay.
Yeah.
Number three, the guy says, okay, I have questions too. Does and I didn't really get this one, but I thought you might.
Mm-hmm.
Does immigration differ from temporary visa? So there's immigration, according to this person, and temporary visa taken for 5 years. From a procedures point of view, how does it differ?
Okay. It can differ in the sense, like I just mentioned earlier, about skilled workers self-petitioning if you're on the list, but otherwise it's very similar. In the case of immigration, you're applying for an AEO, Arranged Employment Letter or Opinion, and in the case of a temporary work permit, you're asking for an LMO, Labor Market Opinion, that has to go through Service Canada first, and then the second step is get the work permit. So in the case of a temporary work permit, you have to have an employer sponsoring you. In the case of this other skilled worker category, in the 29 occupations, you can self-petition, but otherwise you need an Arranged Employment Opinion, AEO, which is very similar to the labor market opinion for the temporary workers.
Alphabet soup today, apparently. Practicing your vowels.
Yes,
AEO.
yes, yeah.
Number four, okay, thank you. He says, I'm interested in immigration for Quebec. Currently, I have basic language. I'm assuming that's French or English. I want to know what are the conditions for immigration to Quebec. I want a working visa.
Okay. Quebec has a self-petitioning skilled worker program like the federal one. It's a little bit easier in certain categories. It's too detailed for me to comment immediately on in just like a 5-second thing. But it sounds like this guy might be someone that could qualify. And if you go on the Quebec government website, you can follow the links there, and you can. It's a points-based program, so they're looking at education, work experience, your status, whether you have family in Canada, your age, things like that. And you have to get a certain number of points to qualify. But the points are less than the federal skilled worker points, which are 67. In the Quebec case, you have to get less points, although the criteria are slightly different.
I think very complicated. A lot of letters, a lot of numbers today.
What can I tell you?
Okay, carrying on. Number five, you're the man.
Yeah.
Okay, he says here, the thing is, I'm a student, but I'm done school. I want to start working in Canada. I studied networking and security during my IT program. I did it for 2 years, and he took science in school as well. He threw that in.
Wonderful. So I'm not clear. Is the guy someone who's graduating in Canada or overseas?
Overseas. There was a little bit of a Facebook conversation. He's overseas currently. He's done school, and he's got this IT experience. He wants to know if he can come over.
Okay. Come on over, but you need an employer to sponsor you. Or you got to fit into those 29 occupations, and he doesn't, based on what he's told us.
Okay.
So he needs an employer to sponsor him. Craigslist, Monster, Kijiji, put an ad in there. I'm looking for a job in Canada. Help me. And maybe you can find someone that will sponsor you. Or if you've got a family member or a friend in Canada, lean on them. Say, hey, look, find me someone who will sponsor me to come and work for them. Temporary first, and then later on apply for permanent status.
Okay. I have a feeling it's going to be more or less the same here, but we'll see what you say.
Okay.
It says, I need a work visa. I have done 2 master's degrees. I have job experience for 2 years as well. Please help me. It says that I asked what the degrees were in on the Facebook page. It said master's in public administration and a master in international relations, and he has admin experience at various companies.
Okay. Provided he's got 1 year of work experience, the Federal Skilled Worker Program in July is the answer for him. He can self-petition as someone in the management assistance occupations, given his experience and his background.
Okay.
So wait till July 1st and then get cracking.
Okay. Number 7. Can you believe this? 7. We're just moving it today.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, this sounds like a couple. All right, we are here for 1 year with a work permit, and we want to apply for immigration. My wife is studying here as postdoc and working at the same time. She's in biology, and he says, and I have an English degree. She's good in Spanish. I'm good in French. What's the story?
Extend your work permit for another year, and you'll qualify under the Canadian Experience class to stay permanently, or at least to apply to stay permanently. So the key to them is, you got to survive for 2 years in a permanent work environment, like full-time work environment. And once you've done that, you'll be able to self-petition through the Canadian Experience class.
So keep that job.
Yeah.
Get another year.
You have to extend it for another year. Yeah.
Okay, great. Last one, number 8. So this is a person who's gone through some paperwork, it sounds like, and he says, if the embassy sent the medical request along with a request to pay the landing fees, updated schedule, and a new police certificate, and a bank statement, does this mean that the embassy finalized the calculation of points? And does this also mean that the background check is over?
Looks good, and I have to correct something that I said in a previous video, and that is, you don't necessarily have to send your passport in certain cases. It depends on what country you're from. Like, if, for example, if you're from the European Union or the United States, you're coming to Canada, it may be that they will process you through a form that you have to fill in and send back, rather than through actually sending your passport in. In other words, you don't need a visa plate in your passport to finally come to Canada. In this case, the guy's in the final stretch. It's just a matter of time for him, and he's in.
You made a mistake?
Well, that's the way it works. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down.
Best guy in the business right here, Andy Semichek. Reach him at aSemichek@pacelawfirm.com. Don't forget, facebook.com/canimmigration. We just got that URL.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, facebook.com/canimmigration. And throw some questions on the wall there, and Andy will answer them for you to the best of his ability.
Right.
Thanks, Andy. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.